Hey, everybody.
Hi.
It's great to see you again.
Welcome. Show number 7, right, Alice?
That's right. Number 7 of Inside Live. I am Alice Howe.
And I'm Freebo, and we're very happy to be here with you. Happy you're here with us.
Yes,
and,
happy Wednesday.
And we've got a very, very special guest.
He's
special guest.
So special.
And he's a friend of both of ours. And we've both known him for a long time. And we're all very close. And
Yes.
This is a human being that, for those of you who don't know him, we'd love to introduce you to him.
Yeah, Vance Gilbert is just one of my favorite singers and songwriters in the contemporary folk scene. I met him a couple years ago at a house concert outside of Boston. He's from the Boston area, where I am originally from, too. And I actually took a couple of songwriting coaching lessons with him, and we've become really good friends.
No wonder you're so good.
You know, honestly, a couple years ago, when I didn't know what to say between songs, Vance actually showed me how to do it. We actually scripted my banter.
Oh, my God. He put words in your mouth? Oh, no.
He did.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. That's how I got so funny and clever. Anyway, here he is. None other than Vance Gilbert. Let's bring him in. Hey.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, Vance.
Thanks for letting me guest on your thing. Woo, it is so nice.
I know. We did it.
This is awesome. I'm so glad you guys are doing this and you invited me. You couldn't have done any better than that.
No, it's true. It's true. We've been pushing to have him as a guest for a while. We had to talk to, all kinds of agents and, managers to get through to him, had to talk to his people. Just kidding. I just texted him.
It's tough being famous, isn't it, Vance?
In my house.
How are you? What's
Good.
new in Arlington?
Good. What's new around here? There's chipmunks in the rafters, so we had to do something about that. Deborah's cooking something with onions in the kitchen, which is cool to go along with the rest of our dinner for later. And
tell her I say hi. I miss her.
I will. Deborah, she loves you.
Tell that dog Bessie I say hi, but I'm scared of Bessie.
My good Bessie.
She snapped at me one time.
Well, you went into the room and reached over her, Alice. And I
just wanted to say hi.
She's a problem child. She really is a problem child. And of course, that problem dogs like that are the ones that last forever. She'll probably live to be 38.
What kind of dog is Bessie?
A standard poodle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and make fun of that, Freebo.
I'm not making fun. No, hey, I'm a dog lover. You know that.
He's part dog.
She's what are you gonna do? Yeah, we get standard poodles because of my allergies, and now we're just we're devotees pretty much.
Yeah. Hair, not fur, right?
Exactly, and the dander is differently done, so it's a different.
Dander is differently done.
Go ahead, you can write that down, Alice.
Is that dastardly dander?
Right?
But Vance, we didn't bring you on here to talk about dog fur.
Dogs.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did. Let's talk some more about dog fur.
We brought Vance on to talk about whatever the hell he wants to talk about.
I don't claim.
That could go anywhere.
I'm not going to have any control over this conversation.
No,
I've just let that go.
Hey Vance, I got an idea. Why don't you play some music?
Yeah.
We can talk more later. What do you think?
Play us a song, Vance, please.
Pink ripe peaches in a pretty glass bowl. Goldfinch chirping on the telephone pole. Clothesline humming, I can hear it sing. When the wind is a-blowing through everything. Last day of winter, first day of spring. Living ain't easy, like a broke kite string. Today wasn't nothing, see what tomorrow brings. Trying to make a life out of simple things. kitchen table covered with magazines, fresh cup of coffee, Franks and beans, daffodils blooming on the garden stairs. I don't remember ever planting them there. Last day of winter, first day of spring, living ain't easy like a broke kite string. Today wasn't nothing, see what tomorrow brings. Trying to make a life out of simple things. Whippoorwill whistling, robin on the wing, fresh cut apple telephone ring. Any interruption is good enough for me. What I wouldn't give for some company. Last day of winter, first day of spring, living ain't easy like a broke kite string. Today wasn't nothing, see what tomorrow brings. Trying to make a life out of simple things. Trying to make a life out of simple things. Trying to make a life out of simple things.
Nice. Is that one of yours, Vance?
Did you write that?
Yeah, that's my tribute to John Prine. I was
It sounded like a John Prine song, but
Yeah.
I never heard it before. But I love it.
We were just going back and forth. Is that a John Prine song? I
was trying to imitate John Prine in my writing. I shamelessly do that. I had somebody tell me once, "Oh, don't do that. People are gonna." I was like, "No, I'm gonna." I tried to write like John.
I honestly yesterday just had a moment sitting with my guitar and started singing the tune with some new words to "When I was a child, my family would travel," and I was like, maybe that's too similar. The melody's too similar, and I was like, oh, it's just different enough, and it's such a sweet tune. It's
brought you to a great place.
It's just so simple and sweet. That's just I love that about.
Oh, it does come from a great place. That is so key. I think the key to that is later when you really go to sit down and put something down, how cool it is to, part of your songwriting process is to get away from something rather than dive in, sort of step back and go, oh, I wonder if, okay, that's what that is. I'm clearly copying that. How can I adjust it and make it mine? So, yeah, I'm all for that sort of, was it Shostakovich that said, good composers borrow, great composers steal?
Either him or Stravinsky, probably.
Oh, it's Stravinsky. I knew it was some Russian sucker with an S. That's it. It was Stravinsky.
When you said Franks and beans, that's when I was like, this has to be a John Prine song.
Right?
Well, what I love about it, though, is you kind of took that feel of his, and the type of picking, and to have the song be about simple things, which of course is really deep because we all know that ultimately that's where life is really at, and then to kind of channel John, do it in that way, it's perfect, really.
Right, and the picking thing. I mean, it's not that simple because there's a melody up on there on the top.
Yeah,
you kind of keep the thumb going if you don't stop. Thank you for recognizing that, Freebo. That's cool.
Oh, absolutely. Well, a lot of this is being broadcast on Norm's Rare Guitar YouTube channel, and he's got a lot of guitar freaks who watch the show, and and in all different shapes and sizes and different styles. I would say probably the most unfamiliar to them probably is actually folk. they're probably more into shredding and blues. He's got some really great guitar players come into the studio and stuff he does. But I think we've helped bring back the folk genre and to have you on there, because you come from so many different places. I mean, you're doing that type of picking, that folk stuff. But I've heard you do all the stuff with all the Jimi Hendrix, Curtis Mayfield kind of licks.
I love how you add those.
And
licks
you're very studied in your musical knowledge.
Well, that's very kind to say. I mean, I cop a lot of things, and I think there's times where I feel like I'm master of none of them, but they work for me. They work. Right. I do what I do, and I do what I do pretty well, and it becomes a part of me. Like when I listen to Alice, when she first came to the house, and she was playing all these original tunes, and then she would play the thing she was playing at retirement homes and playing Four Strong Winds and on all these classic folk things. And I was like, oh my God, to have that kind of tradition underneath my fingers would be, let me go play some jazz quick so I feel like I have something,
Oh man, but Vance, that's too kind. I was totally faking all those chords. I mean, it was a really good, I had forgotten that's what I was doing at that time. I was playing at retirement homes like 3, 4, 5 times a week and making pretty good money doing that actually at that time. And I loved singing like Blueberry Hill and Hey Good Looking, but I was totally faking the chords. I mean, if Freebo would have heard them,
faking the chords, Alice, faking the chords. What you call faking the chords is what a studied musician like Freebo would call somebody who has a handle on music theory, just like a natural handle on music theory. Where to go where. Oh my God! In the chat, that's my cousin Don. Where have you been? Damn, my cousin is up in the chat.
Don't you love that?
Who's that, man? Don Blake, 99. That's my cousin. Don Blake.
Yeah, his mom and my mama were sisters.
Oh.
Yeah,
that would definitely make you cousins.
Oh yes, yeah. I know.
First cousins, actually.
He comes to anything within 100 miles of his house, and he supports me. So he's a god. He's great.
Cool. Vance, I want to know, as well as I know you, and as much as I love you, I don't know really very much about how you got started playing guitar and singing and writing. I mean, I don't know kind of what your origin story is as a musician. Would you share a little bit about that?
Yes, I will. I was born in Philadelphia. Listen to AM radio.
WIBG?
WIBG is the place I would go. It's been a long, long time coming since I've been there. My brains have turned to gum. Oh, yes, they have. So, where'd I come from?
Where did you come from?
So much of that is true. I grew up in Philly, and it was all the Motown and Stax and the things that were spinning on the turntable because of my brother. And my parents were spinning stuff like when they did play music or listen to it, Dakota Staton and Dinah Washington and Brooke Benton, the black pop singers of the time. Occasionally some Frank Sinatra,
Nat King Cole.
Yeah, of course. I discovered the Beatles. I had a little transistor radio that was it was square, about like that, but it was about that deep. It was like a little box, and it had a headphone that I would put under the pillow at night. And I remember the first thing I ever learned to scat. The first thing I learned to scat was the pocket trumpet solo on Penny Lane. You know? And I was like, man. But I couldn't let any of my friends know that I was listening to the Beatles, because that just was not a black thing to do. Because I grew up my first growing up was in an all-black neighborhood, and I knew that it was an all-black neighborhood because everybody in the neighborhood was black. So
Oh, is that
That's
okay?
a dead giveaway.
that was a big dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Then I moved to New Jersey, right across the water.
Camden?
Near north of Camden, Willingboro.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those Levitt towns.
Yeah, right. I remember from your intro to your amazing spoken word
Well, all of
poem.
that. But the thing that came up then, and Freebo, I don't mean to out you, man, but damn, that was a time when these college stations started with free programming, and so they would play some Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah, late 60s, early 70s, right?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. They'd play some Bonnie Raitt that's in place of Miles Davis, and then they'd play The Rites of Spring, and then they'd play New Riders of the Purple Sage. It was
That's
wow.
so cool.
Yeah,
golden days of radio.
Oh man,
it was very cool, and that Don has got it up on the thing here. Germantown area of Philly, West Oak Lane it was called. So that was my musical thing, and I went to college, and everybody, by this time it's mid-70s, everybody had an acoustic guitar.
Where'd you go to college, Vance?
Connecticut College in New London, Connecticut, and I started playing bass. And
really,
that was
bass?
That's where this came from in a lot of ways.
I hear that you're playing.
I remember you said,
Well, we've talked about this, Freebo.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a fracking hero of mine, through and through. Just
well, thank you.
But it was a lot of jazz. I wasn't particularly good at it, but then everybody started lending me albums by Bonnie Raitt and Livingston and James Taylor and Kenny Rankin, and bouncing between those and Al Jarreau and Joni Mitchell's Miles of Isles is a real formative album for me. That the playing on that it's live and it's insane. It's great, So that was it was such a mixed thing. Came out of college, jazz snob, pop snob, Kiss 108 FM. I was playing Borderline. Seems like I'm going to lose my mind. Crossing into the borderline. I was playing everything. Trying to play all this. Is that going to get you cut off playing that cover? Is it going to make everybody...
honestly, we were talking about that earlier. I have no idea what the deal is with that. I feel like people haven't stopped playing covers. Do you know whether that's real or not?
It is. It's kind of real, but I mess with covers so much that
I know.
most of the time they don't recognize it.
Okay.
Like, oh, what?
But then you get the thing where like YouTube has been flagging, my own songs in my own videos.
They can't do that.
I mean,
it's pretty silly.
It'll be like there's a copyright on this song. It's like, yeah, I own it.
Yeah, I own it, biatch.
So then, how did you find yourself in the Boston folk scene? Like, how did you become a folkie?
And was it the Boston folk scene, or was it Philly and New York, or where? I mean, where did you enter that scene?
I came right out of college and moved into an apartment with some friends in here in Boston area, and a bunch of them were going to Berkeley, and so I was getting a good taste of that. But there were open mics and the Nameless Coffee House, and I was like delving into that stuff and teaching during the day, playing these open mics, and then I started playing these cocktail places at night. And that's where I got a lot of repertoire. I started building up repertoire, learning tons of jazz standards and pop tunes. And, on the wings of love, up and above the sky, the only way to fly is on the wings of love. I used to cover those things. And then follow that with, my heart is sad and lonely. For you I sigh, for you, dear, only. So I was being a jerk of all trades. And then somebody dragged me to a folk show. It was at a place called the Old Vienna Coffee House. They were out in Westboro, Mass. And I had played the open mic out there a couple times. And they said, let's go. There's somebody singing out there tonight. And I got tickets. And I was like, all right. My friend Chris, I said, I'll go. Who is it? He said, it's this woman. I hadn't heard of her before either. They played her a couple times on UMB. I said, okay, I'll go see. It was Sean Colvin.
Oh, my God.
And after that, man, I wanted to be a 5'5" white woman. That's all I wanted in life after that. And I made a promise to myself. I said, I'm going to continue playing this open mic. And in a year, they'll give me a gig. And in 3 years, I'm going to open for Sean Colvin somewhere.
Oh,
I ended up with a gig at that place in 3 months because of somebody bailed and they said, oh, this guy's pretty good. He can come up and play a bunch of tunes. So they called me. I went and played there. And then a year later, I was opening the Fat City tour for Sean Colvin.
Wow.
I think that's called manifesting your destiny.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I had a moment like that with Richard Schindel. I saw him at Passim a number of times, Club Passim in Harvard Square when I was like 16, 17. And I just remember sitting there thinking like, someday I hope I can have this person I admire know who the heck I am. And then when I finally got to open for him and sing harmony for him there, it was like, just
right.
So cool when things actually like, come full circle.
What'd you say? You were masticating. Oh yeah, I was masticating my contraception.
Masticating, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to chew it. You want to just swallow it.
All right.
Should I play a song?
Well, I was going to say that would lead to a song of yours.
I don't know if that was a segue,
imagine.
But
we got lots more questions to ask you, Vance.
we
want to hear more music from you. Absolutely, man.
And I just want to thank everybody again for watching on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you guys have any questions for Vance or for us, but he is our very special guest, so please put them in the chat. And Jen from Norman's Rare Guitars is behind the scenes. She's going to send us all the questions. So
yay, Jen,
be sure to ask questions. Yes. Thank you, Jen. And if you all are enjoying the show, please, if you are able to, we would very much appreciate your donations for the show tonight.
Donations, yeah.
Yeah. We're splitting the money. Help us stay alive so we can keep doing this and keep entertaining you.
All right, here we go.
What you got, Alice?
Okay.
I'm leaving.
Okay. Can you hear me through those things?
What?
I want to play a newer song. Yeah, do you mind? Is F sharp okay?
Yeah, I'd rather G or F, but I'll do that. No, I'll just show I can play an F sharp, all right? Or
Good.
G flat, whatever you want to call it.
This is a newer song that is going to be on the next record. It's called Let Go. I'm headed down south on a plane, all alone in my seat, and I'm watching the cold morning rain. Hazel said, come to the island to settle your heart. She said, peace will not come in a day, but you may as well start. After all, there's one thing I know, that you got to be strong to let go, let go. resolution, then I lose it each time. And night after night he is asking me, what can I say? Yeah, it kills me, it's breaking my heart, but there's no other way. After all, there's one thing I know, that you got to be strong to let go. Let go. Don't be afraid. It's never too late. I got to be brave and believe that our story's not done, that the answers will come, though for now they're undone. I told her I couldn't believe it was time to move on. And she told me, with all due respect, you are already gone. So we walked on the beach and we sent out a prayer to be free, to the palms and the waves and the foam and the sand and the sea. After all, there's one thing I know, that you got to be strong to let go. Let go. Thank you. He's clapping. Thanks, Vance.
I'll do the Pelosi clap.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Wait, that's a my. What big hands you have.
Oh.
Thanks, Vance.
That's
Hey,
a
how
nice
did it-
new tune. Beautiful.
Did it? Thank you. Did it sound okay over there? Was it choppy at all, or did it look all right to you?
It was choppy, but you sounded great.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know
the visual was choppy. But
weird. I'm
for
having
me.
it. Yeah, the internet is not looking tip top over here. Hopefully, it's enough to enjoy it in some way, nonetheless. Vance's is perfect.
Yeah,
He's got 10 out of
Vance
10.
looks frozen right now. Vance
No,
frozen?
he's not
No,
frozen.
I'm
He's
just-
just
Oh.
gazing at
Still,
you.
I'm just trying. I'm practicing quiet and stillness.
He's just perfectly.
Stillness, simplicity, peace, serenity.
Freebo, you got one?
I do. I have to take my headphones off here.
Someday we'll figure out how to monitor the sound. But you're just going to have to get headphone hair.
Just get some
Sorry,
headphones
Freebo.
here. I'll do something a little different. Maybe this will lead into another type of a Vance Gilbert type of song. So kind of a R&B type song that I wrote with my buddies Harold Payne and Jan and J.D. Martin. Jan Garrett, J.D. Martin. It's a song about love. It's called Everything to Do with Love. I had a dream, a vision. I woke up singing in the middle of the night, 'cause the world had finally got it right. It had nothing to do with history, which I'd lost or won. It had everything, everything to do with love. When you hear a voice calling somewhere inside you, saying we're not alone, and the music fills your heart with hope. It's got nothing to do with boundaries, thinking you gotta be tough. It's got everything, everything to do with love. It's got everything, everything to do with love. With our differences behind us, the world looks new. Maybe something as simple as kindness can see us through. Well, it takes as long as it takes, and you know it. When the moment is right, you hear somebody singing in the morning light. There's so much hope to hold on to, so many songs to be sung. Everything, everything to do with love. It's got everything, everything to do with love. Take it out.
Everything to do with love, love. Everything to do with love.
I had a dream, a vision. I woke up singing in the middle of the night, 'cause the world had finally got it right. There's so much hope to hold on to, there's so many songs to be sung. It's got everything, everything to do with love. It's got everything, everything to do with love. Yes, it does. It's got everything, everything to do with love. Everything, everything, everything to do with love. Know what I mean, Vance?
Bring him back.
Bring him back.
Totally.
Thanks, buddy.
Totally. Wow, that's lovely. That's
Thank you,
lovely.
man. Thank you.
Lovely. I love, always, that's me heading towards the R&B side of acoustic music, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, first of all, it's all. There's only 12 notes, right? But it's all connected. I mean, you were talking earlier about just the whole different influences and how the influence, they all meld together. And I like to say it melds together into what I call your hybrid, your musical hybrid. And I know you're coming from a real similar kind of place that I am. I mean, Philadelphia, because Philly's really quite the melting pot of music, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Play us one, Vance.
I wish I was a good man, standing with your hand in mine, doing everything just right. How happy we would be. Instead you're looking at a no good fool, giving him the sad eye, doing what your good book tells you when you see a man in need. I don't want your charity, you ain't got a toe that line. If I had a different history, tell me, would it make you mine? If I was a good man. If I was a good, 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 good man. If I was a good, 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 good man. Pity on us simple-minded. We make a lot of bad mistakes. We never seem to roll level. We never seem to catch a break. And I've done things there's no excuse for. Ain't no way to turn back time. Busy trying to fix tomorrow by leaving yesterday behind. Here you come confusing love and forgiveness, making me some special case. If you didn't have to save me, would you love me anyway? If I was a good, 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 good man. If he was a good man. If I was a good, 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 good man. Good man. Ooh, if I was a good, 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 good man. If I was a broken angel, if I stood at heaven's gate, if I was in all this wreckage, tell me, would it be too late? If I was a good, 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 good man. If I was a good, 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 good man. If I was a good, 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 good man. If I was a good, 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 good man. It was a good, 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 good man. If I was a good, 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 good man. If he was a good man. If he was a good man.
Ah, yeah, man.
So
Hey, that was a hell of a segue. That was perfect.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
you know,
my
that's
God.
I was like, somebody asked me once, who would you love to hear do that tune? And
Who?
I just looked at him and I said, Aaron, no, Jason Isbell. It don't matter. I don't care.
Ooh,
R&B,
interesting.
I'd love to hear either one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Vance,
anything.
that's the title of track of your new record, right?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah, but
tell
by
us
the
a
way,
little bit about that.
yeah, your new record is great,
I've
Vance.
listened to
Really,
it
really nicely
so
done, man.
Well,
many
you know,
times.
Freebo, both had a lot to do with that album because Alice, you were supposed to be on it, but you tied up with a whole bunch of stuff.
That will kill me. That I will.
You'll rue that day.
I
we'll
will
get
rue
back
that
on something.
rest of my
But
life.
Freebo and I were talking about maybe doing some stuff together, producing together or something. And we sat out in your car, Freebo, and I remember we just talked you talked about what direction you would take, who you'd use, what you thought would happen. And when you do that, it sort of gave me an idea of how I should steer my bus.
Great.
Even though we didn't get to work together, I felt like, okay, you know, because I talked to you, I talked to Richard Thompson's engineer, Simon Tassano.
Oh, cool.
And we talked for about an hour one night, and I was in Australia at the time, and so we talked for a while. So I was busy getting aligned. I was sort of lining things up as to where I wanted it to go, and I was real pleased with what I came up with. It was
It's really nice.
Yeah, I think it's a good album
Yeah.
too.
I mean, it's interesting too. I mean, you got something. A lot of trombone on it, if I remember correctly.
Well,
right?
it's that's kind of lovingly inadvertent because I had done a gig somewhere, and Abby you know Abby Gardner from Red Molly.
Sure, of course.
That's her dad.
Oh, really?
Herb Gardner's an old jazz guy from New York from the 50s and 60s.
Oh, and it's Craig Aiken on bass, right?
Yeah, so that's her husband. So that you're like, the whole Gardner Aiken family is on this album. But I just threw this other stuff at Herb. He's more of a it's sort of a ragtime blues trombone guy, but he handled funk. The actual acoustic piano on there is him. He's just a badass through and through.
You had a lot of great guests. You had Chris Smither on one song, right?
Chris Smither's first gig ever just playing guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's unmistakable.
And I knew that he was the guitar part is on a tune called Another Great Day Above Ground.
Yeah.
And it's not unlike the Simple Things thing that I was playing, but it's almost double time. And I just I'm a hack when it comes to that, to having the thumb be that independent. And I said, you know what, I'm going to call Chris and have him do this.
That's great. By the way, you know he's going to be our guest next week.
He's our guest next week.
No kidding.
Oh,
that's great.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
He's so smoking hot good, man. He's he's a god. He's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a very high level, intelligent folk music, folk blues kind of, right? But it's like folk blues with a serious intellectual bent.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So were you on the album with Bonnie when she recorded "Love Me Like a Man"?
Oh, yeah, that's me, man. Yeah.
So
I mean, it's just me on bass, but no, that was seminal. I mean, that was. No, it's amazing how many people have covered that tune too. I mean, you walk into almost any bar, and it's funny when I go and sit in. Usually, especially when there's a woman singer, they say, "Do you know Love Me Like a Man?" I go, "Yeah, I do. I know that." Yeah.
That's so funny.
That is so funny.
By the way, I love that modulation in "Good, Man." Right in the middle of it, it's like you don't hear that a whole lot on folk music.
No, it's that's it. It's an R&B pop tune done on.
Yeah.
And the irony is, when I recorded it, I hope I'm not boring anybody out there with the guitar stuff, but I didn't.
No, they love it.
They love it.
Oh, good. I didn't play acoustic guitar on there. I played. I wish Sam was here. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like it was a K, like a Silvertone kind of copy, and it had that Silvertone kind of electric sound, which is what I want. And because we could have had a place to put the acoustic guitar, but I said I want that sound. And
that is the sound.
The other guitar is Tommy Malone from the Subdudes.
Yeah.
So you can't go wrong there.
That's
but that K sound, since I played the song down, drop down a whole step, the guitar wouldn't stay in tune. So I was making all these calls, like trying to get another guitar or asking other guitarists. And finally it was Kevin Barry. He says, you may want to just like chase that guitar part later. Tune it down, let the guitar sit for a better portion of a week, and then try it again. And that was the key. Even at that, I had to, we'd record about 8 or 16 bars and stop and retune the guitar.
Oh my God.
Banjo. You play a Martin. That's a Martin you have there, right?
No, he's got a Santa Cruz.
That's Santa Cruz.
Oh, it's a Santa Cruz.
What is it like? Kind of like a D28, but a Santa Cruz version of that, or
it's the Tony Rice model, which is the takeoff of the D35.
Oh, cool.
Actually, somebody is asking here. No, I'm not tuned to E flat. So when somebody sees me play a C, I'm actually playing a B flat. So if I see me play,
so you're saying you're tuned down a whole step?
Yes.
So am I. I was just going to say that I tuned my guitar down a whole step.
It's a career
I love
saver.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Well, honestly, I love that Freebo tunes down a whole step also, because then I can steal his guitar if we're playing together and play A Case of You like a whole step down. Thank God.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Somebody was asking what we're all playing. I know we always like to repeat. What's
I've got an old Martin. I love Martin guitars. I just love the bottom end. I've got an old D28. It's a '64 D28, and it's all beat up. on the outside, but man, it sounds great on the inside and projects beautifully. And I actually saw Tommy Emmanuel play a gig at one point about 1.5, 2 years ago, and was so impressed. And I actually got to talking to him, and I left the gig, and I got about a mile away, and my car practically turned itself around. And I went back, and he was packing up. I said, "Tommy, would you sign my guitar?"
Oh,
I never thought I'd have anybody sign a guitar, but I was just literally compelled in the moment, and he did. It was a beautiful guy and an amazing player. I'm sure you've seen him play, Vance.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of inspirational to have a part. At one point, before he signed it, he said, "Oh, it's an old D20." I said, "Yeah." He said, "May I play it?" I said, "Of course, of course you can play it." So I got some of Tommy's Gigi Grigri in there, and it feels really nice. And
that's good.
Yeah, I need to say hi to my buddy Tommy. Tommy's here. Hey, Tom. Good to see you. Love you, brother.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of my moderation guys. He and his wife also do all the covers for my albums, so they're very
nice.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No,
Alice also plays a Martin.
I do.
What
mine's like
yours?
a new baby in comparison to all these ones you're talking about. It's just a few years old, but it's a custom shop. I got it at I used to work at a store in Seattle called Dusty Strings. Beautiful
Cool store.
acoustic shop, and this is a custom model. It's like kind of like an OM21. But yeah, I love it. Gets better every year.
Yeah.
Excellent. They do. They warm up, don't they, Alice? They warm up after.
They do.
One of the things that I loved about Tommy Emmanuel, the one time I saw him live, he was at the Philly Folk Festival, and he was slinging behind Janice Ian. That was his gig that day.
Really?
And he just, it's that old thing. Like a broken record. It's what he didn't play.
Right. Well, and especially somebody that good, somebody who can play anything he damn well pleases as fast as he wants.
Oh, you can smell it.
But I mean, to me, that's what a good musician, a pro on any level, is somebody who knows the genre, has good chops, but knows when to use them, not to use them. And it's all about ensemble play. It's all about serving the song. You know that as well as anybody.
This is a thing Alice and I talked about for years when she was like working with me some and all. But the thing I would say is that it took me years to figure out that I needed to serve the song, because I've got vocal skills, I'm animated, I got all this blah, blah, blah going on. And it took me a long time to figure out, you know what, Vance? Play the song.
Right. Yes.
Just play the song. And that's a lack of confidence. Some people may call it hubris. It wasn't hubris. I wasn't an ass, but I just really felt like I needed to make all the noise that I could all at once. Well,
I think what happened, Vance, is you learn the stuff, you learn the licks, you hear somebody play, so that's a cool lick, you learn it, and then you want to play it somewhere, you want to use it. So when you first get going, you find all these, maybe it'll work here, maybe it'll work here. And I think as you mature, especially when you listen to yourself on record or on demos, you go, nice lick, but you know what? I just stepped on the singer.
I feel like I have had the opposite problem, where I wasn't even aware that you could vary the melody at all. Like, I remember being in the studio with Freebo working on my record, and him being like, you can change it in like the second or third verse a little bit. You can like switch it up. I think it was Vance that you told me the term under singing. You were like, Alice is the queen of under singing.
Oh, no, get around it. Oh, yeah.
But you gotta, there's a balance. I mean,
there is a balance.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
I mean, Alice, you were safe.
Yeah,
you were safe.
Totally.
And there's no sin in that.
Right.
Freebo will tell you the same thing. You'd far rather listen to somebody who's an undersinger than somebody that's over-singing on everything. That's a long evening.
Right.
Yeah. Long evening, somebody is scatting on everything.
Right. You ever heard...
Starry night, paint your palette blue and gray, it's like... No, stop.
Vance, have you ever heard Maya Rudolph's Takeoff for the Star Spangled Banner from Saturday
from
Night
SNL?
Live?
Oh, no, I haven't.
It's your classic, like Christina Aguilera. I mean, just doing every lick and every melodramatic
It's
thing. It's hysterical. Check it out. Maya Rudolph sings the Star Spangled Banner on Saturday Night Live. It's a classic example of what not to do.
But she's funny as hell anyway.
She's so funny.
Yeah. But, actually, Alice has been compared to Kate Wolf from time to time. I mean, possibly partly the timbre of her voice and her vibrato, but I think it's a beautiful compliment because certainly Kate never oversang. And I agree with you, Vance, and I think we both really helped Alice in this case. It's like you've got a beautiful voice, sing the song, you're doing it, but you can stretch. And I think that happened partly by giving yourself permission, partly by learning some licks, listening to other singers, trying stuff, seeing what works,
and
what
taking
doesn't.
some risks and not being afraid. I mean, I've definitely been a perfectionist about my singing and being like, I couldn't possibly ever, make a mistake. So I'm just going to do what I know is going to work, which is, that can be limiting if you stay in that place all the time.
That's a problem.
So thank you to my two gurus.
Yeah. Well, why don't you play something, Alice? Why don't you show us how good you are?
Let me undersing a song for you.
Yeah, why don't you undersing a song for it? Don't oversing now.
Okay, here we go.
But don't be afraid of those really cool licks.
Okay. I think we're having some slight internet issues, but I hope you all can at least hear us really well. I think the sound is still good, so sorry about a little blurriness. That's what happens when we take this show on the road. We're so grateful to be over at a friend's house right now. Freebo and I have been on a little road trip, and you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, we're up here in the hills of Vermont, so you never know what you get. But
thank you, Ryan and Sandy, for letting us use your net.
Absolutely, appreciate that.
This is a song that that was written by a wonderful singer and songwriter named Dana Kurtz, who I've met a couple times, and I heard her play this song at a little songwriting retreat, actually with Jack Williams, our guest last week, who invited Freebo down. Freebo invited me, and it was this beautiful gathering of folks, and I heard Dana do this song, and I don't know about covers on Facebook, but I know her, so I'm going to do it.
But this is an original song.
It's an original song. Yes. It's so good one, Freebo.
Thank you.
It's called It's How You Hold Me. When we dance, it's when I remember all the ways you can spin me around. It's not your skill or your style or your gaze or your smile. It's how you hold me, how you're holding me now. You hold me strong and tender, like it would hurt you to let me fall down. Like I'm precious and wild, like I'm a newborn child. It's how you hold me, how you're holding me now. And when I'm blue, that's when I remember to be grateful for what I have found. But though your words, God, they move me, they comfort and soothe. It's how Thank you.
Beautiful.
Here he comes. Hi, Vance.
Damn, that girl can sing. Damn, that girl can sing.
Thank you.
She sings so pretty. I look back, a cheek of my behind fell off and fell on the floor.
Just one?
Just one butt cheek. Everything's listening to one side because one butt cheek just went. Blah, 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 blah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Vance, it's so good to have you here. I feel like
It's so good to be. It's so good to be with you guys.
I feel like we're just hanging out in public.
Hey,
you know?
we're having
That's
fun.
just what we do.
We hope y'all are having fun out there. We want to thank Norm Harris,
Yes.
Norm's Rare Guitars, for hosting us on his YouTube channel. Norm, if you're listening, Jan, thank you.
Yeah.
And really thank you for the support. And we also want to thank a couple other people. We want to thank Rockseller Magazine for helping support us.
Yeah.
And I'm playing behind me, I'm playing a very small Fishman amp called a Fishman
wait, Freebo.
Loudbox.
We need Vance to do some background sponsor music right now.
Background. Vance, you want to play some background sponsor
little
music?
instrumental?
Just some nice, simple instrumental stuff to put simple instrumental. Yeah, just nice little instrumental pad.
Thank you to
So
our
yeah,
sponsors.
so this is a Fishman Loudbox amp we got going on back here, and I'm actually playing my bass through it. It's really an acoustic guitar amp, is what it really is. But beautiful instrument, and got my Fishman shirt on, and Chris at Fishman has been really lovely helping us out. So we're grateful for that, and we've got a new sponsor coming on next week. Want to thank Mike Smith from Cordial Cables. They're really the best cables in the world. They're guaranteed for life. Believe it or not. I mean, all you guitar players out there know that you have a cable, and invariably it doesn't quite break. It just kind of sort of slowly stops working.
Right at the wrong moment.
We don't enjoy that at all. It becomes intermittent. Like maybe the sound is happening now. It's not because of the cable, believe me. So Cordial is going to come on next week, and we're going to have a very special giveaway for you.
Yes.
And so stay tuned. We'll have a secret word, and that person who says a secret word and gets a name picked out of the hat will win a free Cordial cable and a T-shirt, and we might have a couple other goodies for them. Right,
Yeah, so definitely want to tune in next week for that. And thanks to Alert the Globe for putting our show up on their site. It's great to be working with all of you.
Yeah, thank you, Laurie, for that.
Thank you, Vance, for the lovely music.
Hopefully they could hear the rap and the music at the same time. I hope they didn't obliterate each other. Hopefully not.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. I just mean technically speaking.
I'm
not talking
very
about the music,
skeptical of
man.
our internet right now.
Yeah, we're
Your
just talking
playing
about-
was beautiful.
Technical.
I don't know if they're hearing what we're hearing.
Yeah, no idea. So Vance, why don't you play something else, and then we got a heavy question to ask you, but give us what might be cool. How about that wonderful poem? Is it Halloween?
Do you mind?
Yeah, this is we heard Vance do this at one of the folk conferences we go. Actually, where Alice and I met at the Northeast
NERFA.
Regional Folk Alliance. But this is a spectacular poem.
Would you do
on
it, Vance?
so many levels? If you were just gracious with that.
You mean the one
Vance?
about my neighborhood?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could.
Because it's not a singing song, but it's. We just sorry to put you on the spot, Vance.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind being put on the spot. I mean, I just.
Do you remember it?
It's yeah. I think I'd better. It's a piece that talks about where I came from in that neighborhood that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a conglomeration of those two neighborhoods, and the radio at the time and the kids at the time. We were a mixed bag because we were brown and tall, Jew and small, freckle, fat, buck, tooth, flat, black and broken, short and Christian, with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 20 different ways on how to pitch or catch a ball, but the day before November was the best day of the fall. Now, little Mikey Lundy had a dad who beat him daily for nothing anyone could ever put their finger on. As if he needed reason, it was always open season on Mikey when he came home late to all the whiskey gone. Now, little Mike was specially keen to be the Hulk at Halloween because he could wear a suit of green and hide the cuts and bruises. Hell, for one night, we could all just be just what we wanted to be most. Robber, princess, vampire, ghost, whatever our muses chooses. Cause we were brown and tall, Jew and small, freckle fat, buck-tooth flat, black and broken, short and Christian with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 20 different views on which superhero had it all, but the day before November was the best day of the fall. Now, the older boys would spin us stories of Miller's Field and of a man that crossed old Mr. Miller and then disappeared from sight. And if you squint, the street light on the corner of 5th and Mason cast a 10-foot scarecrow shadow guarding Miller's Field at night. But that didn't stop the older boys from laying flaming bags of poop on old man Miller's front porch stoop and then doing the knock and run. We'd see a leg come from behind the door and stomp it out, and that is all we ever saw of old man Miller as long as we were young, 'cause we were brown and tall and Jew and small and freckle fat, buck-tooth flat, black and broken, short and Christian with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 20 different crayon shades should Crayola come to call, but the day before November was the best day of the fall. Now, we hated the candy apples that the Gormans dropped into our bag. They gummed up all the other stuff with their icky, sticky splatter. So Mikey's big idea, of course, let's leave them on old Miller's porch. Shout, trick or treat, stinky feet, and then bang the door and scatter. So here he was with 4'3" and braver than both you and me, tiptoeing with 10 apples on their dirty bamboo skewers. He rapped that door and how he flew, the fastest 4-foot Hulk we knew, abandoning those treats of goo and all murderous pursuers, 'cause we were brown and tall, Jew and small, freckle fat, buck-tooth flat, black and broken, short and Christian with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 20 ways to slap the side of pinball at the mall, but the day before November was the best day of the fall. As Halloweening slowed its pace and we'd visited every neighbor's door, we snuck past old man Miller's place, and the apples weren't there anymore. So one by one, with pillowcases, booty filled in chocolate faces, we peeled off from our group for home to make our stomachs sore. The next day on the bus, we tallied peanut butter cups and raisinets and good and plenty when Mikey shrugged and said, "My father never came back home." And we said nothing. We just kept blowing bazooka bubbles and chewing peanut M&Ms instead. The days grew warm and we hit the bikes and shorts and T-shirts, and so did Mike. The only bruise still on that tyke was just above his shoe, where a pedal caught him on the shin, jumping a curb in a banana seat Schwinn. That shaver made us all seem braver with all his daring do. He smiled a whole lot more since then, but he never saw his dad again, and speculation has it that that bird just up and flew. But if you pass by Miller's Field at night and squint at that 5th and Mason light, you swear where there was once one scarecrow, now there's clearly two, 'cause we were brown and tall, Jew and small, freckle fat, buck-tooth flat, black and broken, short and Christian with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 100 ways to paint the side of God's wall, but the day before November was the best day of the fall.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Vance.
I just love that. Not only is it seasonally appropriate.
Somebody said they'd rather listen to Achy Break Heart.
I saw that.
That's
don't
their
mind
problem.
them.
Where do you get these fans? Particularly with somebody with the last name Moose. Who's the last name Moose?
Oh, Moose? That buddy, Moose.
No, it's not that. Moose.
Oh, it's got to be different. He's too cool a cat.
We get an eclectic crew on here.
That's
sometimes.
all right. Good for
Somebody also said you were a classic American poetry, so we get all kinds.
Yeah.
It might
Vance,
be bad.
I want to ask you. I mean, and you allude to this in this poem and in a lot of your writing, and I've also heard you talk about the subject of race in kind of a humorous and really personal and interesting way at your shows. And I guess I just want to ask you, because we are at this moment where it's almost like white folks are finally starting to figure out what black folks and brown folks have been saying for a long time, which is that our work is not done in terms of racial justice and civil rights. And I guess I'm just wondering, I've heard you say at different shows, like, you're the only chocolate chip in this cookie, for being a black singer-songwriter in a white folk world, largely white. I'm just curious kind of what your thoughts are about what it's been like to be Vance Gilbert in that role. I'm just love for you to share a little bit about that.
And your thoughts just about what is going on just in America in general and all that kind of stuff.
Not that you have to... All that kind of stuff. Thank you,
Freebo. Speaking for you. Simply
not
as
for
Vance
everybody.
Gilbert.
I guess I'm just, that's...
Well, here's the deal. Like the poem said, I come from a mix of, whole mix of people when it came to friendships and upbringing and all. But it was, one of the irretractables is that I always was and always will be black. And no matter where you'd like to, where one would like to take that and say that it doesn't exist, it's a day-to-day reality. So
right.
I think differently when I get pulled over, and I think differently of the frequency I get pulled over, or I think differently when I run through a neighborhood, when I'm jogging, or I'm always thinking differently. I think a lot of it, one of the things that Black America is saying is that, we're exhausted.
Right.
We're exhausted of always having to think twice, about what it means. So, it's a different thing. It's a thing where you wonder why people. There's always a different answer, when people are bemoaning the fact that the storefronts are getting trashed and there's a graffiti on the walls and how bad and sad that is. It's like there's, we don't own anything. We don't have a part in anything else like that. So it's really easy to spray paint as I've heard more than one black person say, I gladly throw a TV through a window. Not because I need the TV, because finally somebody is speaking the truth, and look what I do for a living. I mean, it's a really predominantly white scene, and I bring what I bring to it, but I also bring my mixed thing to this. I bring. A certain affection for Celtic music and the music of June Tabor and Matty Pryor and Richard Thompson and all these English traditional people. We come in all shapes and sizes and everything else. But the thing that we'll never get away from is our blackness. And you know what? You don't have to get away from it. It doesn't have to be some great leveling everybody equal kind of thing. If people would just recognize recognize the brown, recognize the difference, and recognize that how everything we have is built on the backs of people that never got paid for. Everything that we are, every bit, there's so much is legacy based. The legacy of poverty of black people in America, and the legacy of white folks that get houses and cars handed down to them, even though they don't have a penny to their name, suddenly they have a house. So there's a lot of anger with that, and a lot of recompense that comes with that. But I have terrific faith that people like you and Freebo just very clearly and lovingly ask the question, and then I answer the question, and then we move on with our day with the realization that everything that every bass player that Freebo ever loved that means anything to him, that 80% of them were black. And so many of these folk songs that you sang in these retirement homes came from a mixed black and white tradition.
Yeah.
And look at us. I mean, look at us. How can we not take stock and homage of all of our blackness and recognize where we all come from?
Amen. Yeah.
listen to Jason Isbell's White Man's World.
It's a great
and that
song.
is,
Yeah.
it's
Great
like,
song.
that is a cat that is coming. Well, he's coming to terms with a whole lot of shit. Ain't no getting around it. But
Right.
spin that tune. I'll say it again. Jason Isbell, White Man's World. And
It's great, yeah. No, thank you.
yeah, you know, I'm looking at one of your things of Maddie, fundamentally where we all come from, and he's, you know, yeah, we do fundamentally all come from a black something or other. Even this goofy moose person that has like been such a troll is talking stuff about capitalizing Constitution and everything else. He don't know his ass from a hole in the ground, but we appreciate you, Moose.
Go for it, man.
Love you,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, go
Go
ahead.
get it, man.
Go ahead, man.
Hey, I got it. For those people out there,
I've got
if you
your leg. I've got your leg. I'm under the bridge. I've got your leg.
But now he's saying some shit that makes some sense. That's good.
one of the things I love about you, Vance, I've been in that audience when you are on stage and you are literally the only black person in front of 1,000 people, you know, all of whom are white, and you own that audience.
Well, you make them
that
think.
stage.
You make us all think like.
You make us all think. You make it be funny. You call people out, but
Yes.
in a unifying kind of a
Yeah.
way, and it's really beautiful. I mean, what comes to mind? I'm sure you know the song "Fats Waller." What did I do to be so black and blue?
Oh yeah,
And I know the Louis Armstrong version. You know, the only sin is in my skin, and it's just really sad that at this point in America, and maybe it started with I'm sure it was always there, but all of a sudden a black man in the White House with a black family in the White House, and you know, and now Trump comes in and all this racist stuff starts to happen. It's really a sad time, and I think what Alice was saying earlier is just indicative that, you know, maybe things weren't getting as good as we thought they were. I think there's always improvement. There's always room for improvement, and certainly my prayer, and I'm sure I echo yours and Alice's, is that at some point we can get beneath the color of the skin, beneath the religion, beneath any of the ethnicity, and see that, you know, we're all human. I mean, we all live on, we're all just a bundle of emotions, and we all have the same emotions, and that's really what art is about. It's about
I agree with you.
expressing the emotions and the commonality that we all have when we. You know, when I feel sadness or loss, you know, it might be a different name, face, and place than you, but we all know what that feeling is. So thank you so much.
Thanks for
beautifully expressing what
just
you said.
It's you know, I'm happy to give my views on that, and
I just think
not a whole lot different than what like other people are saying.
It's just, I mean, I know, you know, from a lot of what I'm reading now and just kind of listening to my peers and different people, like I know there's like an exhaustion that you mentioned of like having to be the one to explain stuff all the time, and just kind of being asked to like, you know, tell everybody why stuff is important and like what, you know, how to understand racism, or, you know, but I just really appreciate your sharing, you know, how it feels for you.
Well,
I think it's just important to put it out there, because I don't know, people are, it's really hard to talk about sometimes. So.
It's important to talk about it.
It is hard, and
I'm glad you asked me.
Yeah,
I'm glad
especially
you
as we got not a lot of time left before this election. So
yeah,
you know, critical times.
I was watching some of the NBA finals, and it was really interesting with the NBA players. Obviously, at least the league is 80% black easily, and I thought it was fascinating how they jumped on, and rightfully so, on the Black Lives Matter thing, and just on the whole racial injustice in the United States, and how they just owned it, and how many people said, why don't you just, you know, shut up and play basketball? And Alice and I'm sure you have too, Van, said, hey, when you write something in your email, you know, and you say something perhaps political, they say, get away from that, just shut up and play your music. And it's like, wait a second. You know, I mean, who are the only people who are allowed to talk about point of view or politics? So,
well, and also I think if people like our music, then they're buying into, or they like us as presumably who we are, and what our music is not just, I mean, it's coming from who we are, so I don't know. It's like you can't just take one or the other. I suppose you could just listen to the record and never, hear the person speak, but there's more to it than just the lyrics, I guess, or there's a person there.
And it's hard, I mean, as singer-songwriters, I've got some very strong opinions, and I'm sure we all do, but I've also found that, I can't be on stage and I'm either preaching to the choir or I'm pissing people off. So that's not working. But sometimes I want to write a song about it. So how do I do it in a way that's, not offending anybody, but at the same time expressing my opinion and saying in some sort of a universal way, some sort of an empathetic way. Let me play one of those for you right now, actually, because this is not about race, but it's about a certain inequality. And, in my travels around the country, I know for all of us, you see a lot of homeless people. And I wanted to write a song about homelessness and express my views on it, but the best way to do it was to put it in the first person. So
good for you.
Turn this into a duet with Alice, and hope you enjoy it. I haven't done this in a while. Hope I remember it. It's called "When There's No Place Like Home." I used to be your neighbor. I had my job and I had my pride, but they shipped them both to China, and it ripped a hole inside.
They took my house last summer. Now I'm hungry, cold, and scared, and I'm wondering, does anybody care? When there's no place like home, and you're out on your own, you feel abandoned and alone. When there's no place like home.
I used to be a hero, the strong, the proud, the few. When duty called, I stood up tall, red, white, and blue.
But no hero's welcome waiting, and his damaged soul returned. Uncle Sam don't give a damn, that's what I learned. When there's no place like home, and you're out on your own, you feel abandoned and alone. When there's no place like home. Please don't look right past me. A simple smile could help me make it through. I could be you. If home is where the heart is, where's the heart supposed to go? When your living room's a cardboard box and your address is Skid Row.
If a man's home is his castle and the place where he is king, what happens when he loses everything? When there's no place like home, and you're out on your own, you feel abandoned and alone. When there's no place like home. When there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Thank you, Vance.
Damn, y'all. Y'all sound good together.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Love singing harmonies. You know, I wanted to do a show with the two of you for so long, and it's funny that we finally get to do it like this. Man. Last time we were all on the same stage, I think, was the Roots on the River Festival.
That's right. That was in Vermont.
I wonder, is Ray watching?
I know. Good old Ray.
Hope so.
What do you got for us, Vance?
Well, Alice, I know you like this song. I'm not one to write revolutionary songs that splatter an idea for everyone to just sort of wrap themselves around and go home with their fist in the air. I'm more apt to get under your skin a little bit. That's my job. I was such a strange boy, 40 years or so back then. Fat with big thick old glasses, I had trouble making friends. Cruising through my neighborhood, could easily have come to no good end, till I stumbled into the workshops of old white men. Call your mother, you can stay. That's about all they'd ever say. Then they take the lid off of some old wooden box, and inside would lay a gem made of string, spring, wood, and glue. Right then and there, I'm sure I knew firsthand the raw ingredients of old white men. Oh, white men, get teary-eyed December 7th. Oh, white men, salute every flag they see. Oh, white man, didn't care how cool I could be. A drop of glue will do to helping men. Put the cap on when you're through, said old white man. It was all ball-peen hammers and calipers, dovetail joints and acetone, tubes and printed circuits, screws and spokes and wheels. The difference between truth and opinion. When you're old enough, be sure you vote. I'd never trust a woman wearing more than 3-inch heels. Oh, white men, living cross-cut chainsaw lives. Oh, white men, they don't talk back to their wives. Oh, white men, thanks to them, I can sharpen your kitchen knife with a stone. Sometimes when I'm alone, I wonder what became of old white men. Do they synchronize their watches as on and on time marches? Do the belts need extra notches as their waistlines grow big and round? I call their wives up often, and I carry their husbands' coffins as these gray hairs of my own chase me down. Over the years I outgrew my awkward situation. I went to college, joined the cause, became the black man I never was. And over the years I learned to view old white men with suspicion, 'cause I'd heard the world was run to ruin by old white men. Last Thursday I was hunched over my Briggs and Stratton more, trying to adjust the carburetor when this kid come bending my ear, always bugging me when I'm working. So I said, make yourself seem useful, son. Clean the carbon off that spark plug, wipe it down, and hand it here. Oh, white man, look me squarely in the eyes. Old white men, they look right past my skin. Oh, white man, I can hear them oh so clearly. Are you gonna just stand there with that Santa block, son? Or make it so these pieces fit again?
Yeah, man.
One of my favorites.
Hell, I love me.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
It's
and timely.
Thanks, guys.
But it's just such a, the perspective is, I've never heard anything like it. I mean, it just really struck me when I first heard that one. Says a lot.
Thank you, love.
About just kind of that there's just so much gray area in how we all kind of relate to each other, and we just are humans.
Oh, in the day-to-day, there has to be. To be gray.
Right.
Well, and to me, that's... I
Oh,
mean,
my God. Look who's on the feed. Jack Williams.
is Jack on there?
Yeah, shut
Hey,
up,
Jack.
Jack. Jack Williams.
That's great. Now, we had a good time with Jack. Was it our last show, right?
Yeah,
2 weeks
2 weeks
ago.
ago, yeah.
An amazing guitar. But I was going to say, just in terms of all this, I mean, to me, that's what America's all about. I mean, it really is a melting pot. You know, and except for the indigenous people, Native Americans, you know, none of us came from here, whether we came by choice or by chance. I mean, I was born and raised in a little Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania coal town. You know, there were no blacks, there were no Hispanics, there were no Asians. It was just, you know, a bunch of, you know, white coal miners. You know, it was a town that was 50% Catholic, 49% Protestant, and 1% Jewish, and you know, and in the 50s, and it was what it was, and there were so many prejudices, and yet, and you know, the Irish would look down on the Italians, and everybody looked down on somebody else, and I think it's just part of human nature. And I think as we, certainly as I've, you know, matured and grown up, it really comes down to people are people. There's good people, there's bad people, there's kind people, there's selfish people, and come in all shapes and sizes and colors and sexes and religions, and that's really what it comes down to, you know. And that's what I love about America. You know, that's really what I love about America.
Hello, Freebo.
We got more opportunity to be diverse here than any other country in the world, and I just hope that we just take advantage of that and celebrate the similarities and not focus on the differences. That's my statement for tonight. Let me hear an amen, Van.
No, you're close. I think if it's celebrate the differences would be what we need to do. Is celebrate.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Let's take the, you know, the similarities are good. They don't need any help. The similarities, right. They're on their own. It's the differences we need to celebrate.
Right.
Yeah, but also focus. And you're right. Focus on the similarities and celebrate the differences.
There you go.
I like that.
There you
that.
go.
That's good.
There you go.
There's a bumper sticker right there.
He got there.
Yeah.
Look at you,
Alice. You got a tune that has anything to do with any of that, or
no.
When you sent me just had 12 notes in it.
Can I play a song about an old white man that I love? My father.
Oh my
there
God.
you go.
He's
Yeah. Because, you know, I've been spending time at his wonderful house up here, and talk about him a little bit, because he had a huge influence on.
Well, this is one of the I guess song introductions that Vance first had me kind of write out and put together was about my dad. I wanted to think about how to introduce this song, Nothing But You, and I lost my father when I was 18, and I wanted to say something that really gave people an idea of who he was. So I used to say before this song, Vance and I kind of worked this one out. It was, my father loved to build sandcastles, and we would go to the beach every year in April in South Carolina, and he would be down by the water with a shovel just digging a big hole and building this beautiful structure. He was an architect as his day job, but really was an artist at heart, and people would come and kind of watch him work in the sand, and they would all remark on his Speedo that he would be wearing. And Vance and I we had the punchline just down. It's not quite the same with no actual audience, but that Speedo moment was key. Gives you an idea of Sandy Howe. He was a character. And no, he wasn't European or anything. He just really liked wearing a Speedo. And why not? He was from Ohio, but, white boys from Ohio can wear Speedos if they want to. So over time, I tweaked that intro. But it's still a song about Sandy, and I love him dearly, and the song is called Nothing But You. Gone in a flash, gone in a flame, gone in the dark, gone when I call your name. Under a wave, under the ground, under my skin, and still you hardly make a sound. I look back, and still I see nothing but you. A cabin floor, a piece of gold, I'd take anything my hands can hold. A dream that lingers in the light and leaves you stumbling back toward that gentle night. Nothing but you. What if I wake to find I was mistaken this whole time? But if I'd never lost you, you may never have been mine. Summer's come, I look around, still you're nowhere. No, you're nowhere to be found. within. I look within, and still I see nothing, nothing but you. Thank you. Thanks, Vance. Remember writing that thing with me?
Oh, I didn't write that with you. I just guided.
You prompted me.
I prompted you, and I guided you with the things that you already had there. I said, put this one here, put that one there, put things in places, girl. You got that.
Thanks. Hey, I just want to mention to all of you again, thank you so much for watching. Vance, I know we said 4 songs, but will you give us one more? Will you take us out?
Oh, whatever you want.
Do you mind? I know we're a little over, but we want you to end with a song.
Oh, my God.
But before you do that, Vance, just one more shameless pander here.
What?
Folks,
what?
this is we're doing this. There's no charge. There's no charge to watch this, folks. And no, it needs to be said, but we'd appreciate it if you could throw something in the pot. Let's pretend that we had a little tip bucket up there. If you want to throw something in, $5 would be wonderful.
Help keep us going.
We split this 3 ways, so this helps us pay for our expenses and helps us pay the rent, and we're very grateful if you can do that. If you can't, we certainly understand, and we're going to be here every Wednesday night.
Yep.
And we want you to come back. We have Chris Smither next week.
Yes.
Chris did write Love Me Like a Man that Bonnie Raitt made famous, and some other absolutely wonderful songs.
Can't
We
wait,
love
yeah.
Chris, and certainly you know Chris real well, and you can speak volumes about him,
Yes.
Vance, that you already have.
He's just he's the embodiment of how so much of this is done, man. He's a badass. So please tune in.
Yeah.
Please tune in for that. He's just I got no other words for that. He's just tremendous. He's
And we can also say that Vance does his show every Monday. What time, Vance, you do your show?
7:30 Eastern Time, Eastern Daylight Time, 7:30 over on YouTube. The Vance Gilbert's Acoustic Pajama Party. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and for those of you who are watching on YouTube, if you don't already subscribe to each of our channels, Vance has a very impressive number of followers, much more than either Freebo or I have. But I recently found out that you have to have 1,000 subscribers, I guess, to monetize the channel. So it just takes a second to head over to Alice Howe Music and to also find Freebo on there. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our channel. So thanks, everybody, and thank you, Vance. We love
Are you kidding me? This has been a blast.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for being my friends. And I'm blessed to know that you guys you're but 150 miles away from me right now, but you feel like close. So that's nice.
Likewise.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Vance.
Thank you
Take
so
us out
much.
with one
And
more.
thanks for doing what you do, because nobody does it quite like you, which is really
Oh,
quite
nice.
wonderful.
Oh, yes.
Midnight at the Oasis.
Send your camel to bed. Shadow faded on fade. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do it.
for those of you out there, folks, I got to play bass on that wonderful tune, and Vance will never let me live it down.
I'll never let you live. You taught me the chords to that tune in a kitchen in Pennsylvania at a
That's
festival.
right. I remember that.
No way.
Tracy
I love
Grammer
that.
were standing around this island. Was it
That's
Tracy
right.
Grammer? I think it was.
so funny.
And they put us up in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, no, you got to do it. You got to put that there, do that, do that. I was like, oh, man, I am learning Midnight at the Oasis from the Cat. I was like, woo, shoot.
It's all 11ths, right? It's a whole bunch of 11th chords.
The
Pretty
tune
much what
changes
it
keys
is.
4 times. 4 times it changed.
Yeah.
Oh my!
That
Vance,
tune
I
is
remember-
so schizophrenic.
I remember listening to the solo with you at your house one time after a lesson, and you were just like, "Listen to this guitar solo." And you were like,
Amos-
sat me down, and you were like,
Amos Garrett.
Amos Garrett. And that is what I was looking for with Tommy Malone on my album. I said, dude, if you could play like Amos Garrett, he said, and his mouth is like, he was like, yes, I'll do that. He was like so thrilled. And that was the approach. And my cousin wants me to play Waiting for Gilligan. Oh, maybe I'll do that. The thing about Amos Garrett's playing was that Maria Muldaur's guitarist that she toured with told me this story, that Amos Garrett got letters from 2 separate people in the music business congratulating him on that solo. The first one was from Stevie Wonder, and the other one was from Chet Atkins. So you want to talk about 2 separate worlds saying they love that solo. So let me play this for you then. You can live on pie and whiskey, but you surely won't live too long. One is as sweet as your very first kiss, the other gonna go down strong. Neither one will sustain you, when the other make your belly lame and go wrong. You can live on pie and whiskey, but you surely won't live too long. You can sing yourself a lullaby like your mama sang to you. Hers was just like a ringing a bell. Yours is like a worn out shoe. She had a voice just like honey. Yours just like leather nails and glue. You can sing yourself a lullaby like your mama sang to you. Oh, yeah. You can cry, cry, cry like no tomorrow, but yesterday did come and gone. Hijack the pie and the whiskey, kidnap your mama's soul. Oh, but worn-out shoes are made for walking. You better get walking, 'cause you ain't gonna be here long. You can cry, cry, cry like no tomorrow. You can sing yourself a lullaby. You can live on pie and whiskey, but you surely won't live too long. Well, she's walking through the clouds with a circus mind running wild. Butterflies, moonbeams, and fairy tales riding on the wind. When I'm sad, she come to me with 1,000 smiles she gives to me for free. It's alright, oh, it's alright. Take anything you want from me, anything at all. Fly on, little wing, oh, fly on. Oh, but you surely won't live too long.
I love it.
Vance my favorite Vance Gilbert, everybody.
Vance Gilbert meets Rahsaan Roland Kirk and Jimi Hendrix. So in between.
Oh, man. That
that's
kills me.
beautiful.
That humming kills me every time. My God.
Thank you guys so much for having
Vance,
me.
Oh, what a
we
pleasure.
love you.
What a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for
Hey,
being
and
here.
you can tell folks, obviously this is, archived, so anybody wants to watch us again or tell any other folks about it between
you can share
Norm's Rare Guitar's YouTube channel or Alice's or my Facebook page or Vance's Facebook page. It's on Vance's, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
It's everywhere. Thanks,
yeah,
everybody.
beautiful.
Thanks,
you.
Vance.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. Live with Alice Freebo and
Inside Live.
and we say inside because we got a little bit of
inside.
we got inside Vance Gilbert a
And
little
behind
bit. And thank you for
music.
being so so honest and intimate, and we really appreciate
And
that.
such a
Vance.
damn
You're
good
so
singer.
Special. Oh yeah, killer music.
But you guys,
You badass.
guys are a symbiotic duo musically. It's just so cool to see how you guys have melded musically. Has been a blast. It's just watching both of you grow into what you do. It's been really joyous. So thanks for letting me be a little teeny part of that.
You're a big part of it. Vance.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. All right. We'll see you later.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Van.